Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Gil Trading Lab. If you're new to this YouTube channel, please like this video, share, and subscribe. So, on today's video, I'm going to be doing a precession analysis on EURUSD, and I'm going to start from the daily time frame. So, on the daily time frame, my swing structure is bullish. This is my strong swing low, and that is the bullish breakout structure. So this is I'm just viewing this as an internal pullback. It's not relevant to this previous price action. I need to see a deeper pullback. So I can label that as my weak swing high. Oh, you see, you mark a high that if let's say price and comes and breaks above it, you see it will be a clear swing relevant to the previous price action. But if it's not huge, if price comes and breaks, like currently if it comes and breaks this high like that, you see it's a smaller range compared to this one. So that's why it's my internal. So I'm currently only viewing this as an internal pullback. So there's this demand which price might want to pull back to. We can see the strong load that has been built within the pullback. It could be, but it doesn't have lead. So maybe now the pullback is being, the liquidity is being formed in there on the right side. So maybe after this bullish charge now, maybe now price might liquidate this low, mitigate demand, and maybe after that now we might get, now price may start to form the next internal leg. But also the mitigation, you can see price has also mitigated the top of this range. It has tapped into the EQ of the swing range and also on the EQ of the internal range. So the pullback could be complete even after this reaction. Even as you can see, by the way, it's impulse, correction. So maybe now the next move might be impulse and then correction, impulse, correction, until price takes out the weak internal high. But then this is a corrective pullback. It could be a move to for it could be a sign that this low could hold, but this is just internal structure. You see, this high, it hasn't achieved anything. So for me, currently price is just trading in between this fractal high and this fractal low. So whatever happens in between here, I don't care. I just focus on price pulling back to this strong fractal low, and then I'm expecting it to hold for price to target the high. So even I can't mark this as a swing structure. You see, it hasn't broken anything to the left. So that's why I cannot mark it as a supply zone. The only case I can consider starting to map in supply zones on the right is when price has started to form clear internal ranges. You see, in this case, even if price hasn't broken anything to the left, if let's say this fractal low is below here and price starts to form this significant internal structure, then I'm happy to label this as my supply that has caused the internal breakout structure. So when price pulls back to it, I can expect the lower high to be formed from there, and then I can expect to follow the internal structure to play the swing pullback. So that's why I can't label this. It's just it's not relevant to me. That's why I'm not even considering it. That's why I'm only viewing this as a pullback to this demand, and once price mitigates this demand, then I'm expecting the internal lower high to be formed from here or even from here, and then price to target the weak internal high. Depending on how price will mitigate these zones, will mitigate these zones, because if we see now price pulling back deeply, we'll have a significant pullback, and this will be now my daily swing week high. So that's all for the daily time frame. Let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, my swing structure is bullish. This is the swing structure. It's a huge one. So this is my strong swing low. The swing is bullish. That is the bullish breakout structure. And this is my weak swing high. So currently price is in the swing pullback phase, and there's this internal structure that is forming within the pullback, which I want to zoom into, because I want to zoom into it. This is the strong internal high, and this is the weak internal low. So price pulled back, mitigated supply that caused the internal boss it's a flip. You can see it flipped this zone. You see the reaction. So the whole of this is the flip range, and if you refine it, you can see this supply. This is the only supply within the flip. So once price mitigated it, we got a bearish choke there, and after that we can see this bearish order flow that is forming. It could remain bearish until, but you see fractal order flow is really aggressive. It's the most aggressive structure, meaning it's not a must for it to remain bearish until price takes out this low. It can shift bullish, it can shift bearish, it can play around here before it takes out this low. But as long as we understand this is the strong internal high, meaning after the pullback we expect price to target this low. That's it. That is all I'm expecting. So after the pullback is price to target the low. But also another thing is to understand is this is an internal structure. It's bearish only to facilitate the swing pullback. Meaning if the swing pullback is complete, then it could shift bullish, meaning we could see price targeting this high for it to shift bullish. So internal now could remain bullish until price takes out the weak swing high. So now you shouldn't rely on just following this fractal order flow, because it can shift bullish, and you can start now to maybe create your own ideas that now price is likely maybe now targeting the weak swing high. But overall, price is just, this is just a pullback, and then after the pullback, what the next move we are expecting is price to target the weak internal low, or maybe now to shift bullish, the internal to shift bullish, so price could target the weak swing high. So after the mitigation of the supply, now I'm expecting price to target the weak swing low, internal low, sorry. So that's all I'm expecting for the 4 time frame. So we can see price. So currently price is within this fractal range. We can see price pullback. It did not mitigate the pivot supply. It just mitigated the whole supply range. And after mitigation of the range, we can see price has been trickling really correctively to the low. So my expectation is for price to target this low. That is my main expectation, is for price to target this low and potentially this internal low. So also you see the sell liquidity that has been built above this daily demand range, which price could now target, and then price to form the next. You see, it will be the daily internal leg, and also it will be the 4-hour swing leg. So that's all for the 4 time frame. Let's drop down to the M15 time frame. So on the M15 time frame, my swing structure is bullish. So this is where we get our intraday bias from the M15. So on the M15, we can see this is my strong swing low, this is my weak swing high. So currently price is in the swing pullback phase, and within the swing pullback phase, price is forming this internal range. This price is currently within this internal high and this weak internal low. So price pulled back to the EQ of the internal range, and from that we can see prices. We were in a range, but we can see price broke out yesterday. Was it yesterday or during Asia? And we can say now price is now likely targeting the weak internal low, so we can get that. Let me delete everything. So we can get now that deep swing pullback, and then maybe after the swing pullback we could see now internal shift bullish for price to target the weak swing high. But another thing, if you now introduce the multi-time frame analysis, is now you understand that this M15 has just been bullish. Let me delete even. Yeah. So we just understand that M15 has just been switched bullish to facilitate the internal 4-hour internal pullback. Now that the pullback objective is complete, now we could see maybe now this internal being respected until price now takes out the weak, until swing shifts bearish. So price could target the 4-hour internal low. So that is a thing to keep in mind. But also if you view it overall, even from the daily time frame, maybe now price, this swing structure could remain bullish if maybe now price is forming the next 4-hour swing leg, which is also the daily internal leg. I hope you understand. So I'm saying this swing structure can remain bullish. So this meaning this low could hold and it could stay bullish until 4 hour shifts bullish. Internal shifts bullish, so price could target the 4 hour swing high. All right. So that's all. So let's see how we can get involved during today. So now shorts are phase C to play the deep swing pullback, and longs are phase B. So if you can we see clearly that price is in a huge range. So I can't really rely on this to look for longs from these M15 demand zones. So what I can do, and since I trade from intraday POIs, so what I want to see is either for shorts, I want to see price break below this low, so we can have a new strong high to short from. So if we see price pullback, we can look for a demand zone, a supply zone, sorry, which we can, since we can see if these zones are all zones, so I can wait for another flow shift from them. Then I look for shorts from the supply that will have formed after the order flow shift, ideally even after a strong liquidation within the pullback or a lead sweep. Then I look for shorts targeting the weak internal low. The other way you can get involved, since we can now see that price is likely targeting this low, weak internal low, you can follow the current order flow to the low. But you see, shorting currently you're shorting from this leg. You see this leg, this high, let's talk about this high. This high is a weak high. It hasn't achieved anything. It hasn't broken this low, meaning it's a weak high. So if you're shorting current here, you're shorting from this high. And this high is a weak high. You see, ideally you want to look to trade from strong highs or strong lows, targeting weak structures, not trading from weak high, strong, not trading from weak structures. Yeah. So if you trade from here, and even though we expect this low to be targeted, price can still mess around here before it goes for the low. That's why it's ideal to take trades from strong high, anticipating the move, targeting the low. That will always be the higher probability. But if you want to be aggressive and you want to follow the order flow, you can wait for ideally maybe sweep of Asian highs and then followed by bearish order flow shift. Ideally, we get even a break and candle closure below the low. Then you can short from the session supply. So I don't advise you to short from these supply zones on the left, because you're shorting from this high. For longs, now that we are in a huge range and I can't long from these old zones, I'd really want to see internal now shift bullish. If let's say now we get the bearish eyeballs and then we see the internal shift bullish, signaling that the high is weak now. So I can wait for price to pull back. If we'll have a session demand, then I long from it. Or if not, if these zones will be old zones, I can wait for order flow shift. Then I trade from the fresh demand, targeting the weak internal high. That is a more high probability. It's phase A. Yeah. So that's all. That's all I can talk about how to trade today. But another thing I wanted to talk about is there's a diagram here that I'll love to show you to explain everything clearly, so you may understand. So this is the best way to get involved. This way. You see, if you want to take phase, like currently we are trying to catch phase C. So if you're trying to catch phase C, it's best to trade from these highs. You see, if you trade within this leg, price can still mess around before it targets the low, because this is a weak high. Because if you like the way I was explaining on the 4-hour time frame, if you follow the order flow, if it shifts bullish, it could target this high. A lot of bad things could happen. That's why it's best to trade from these highs. So if you want to short, if like here you could trade phase D, the best time to take phase D is above here, and the best time to take phase C is also above here before price mitigates EQ of the swing range, because even after price mitigates the EQ of the swing range, the the swing higher low could be formed. The higher the swing is stronger than internal, meaning it will always overrule the internal structure. And also, if you want to take longs against internal structure, phase B, it's best to take it from the extreme demand, because here, if this swing structure is going to remain bullish, then then from the extreme, it's where it's most likely that the swing higher low will be formed, and it's where we can expect the internal reversal. So even and after the internal shifts bullish, this is the best time to take longs phase A. Even here, it's kind of medium probability, not high probability, because you're trading against internal structure. So it's best to take longs from here. So that's why even for today, since this trading from these old zones, it's really old, so I can't long from here. So that's why I want to see internal shift bullish, and then after that I can look for longs targeting the weak swing high. For shorts currently are best. They're okay. You can look for shorts. We can look for shorts within this high. That's why even I'm waiting for the bearish eyeballs, so we can have a strong high for price to pull back to, and then we look for shorts from it, targeting the weak internal low, and to play the dip, swing pullback, and potentially the swing reversal. So that's all for today's video. Yeah, please like this video, share, and subscribe. I wish you all a wonderful and a blessed day.